Hello, my name is Paul and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to a very special video. Today we're going to be talking about the best movies that I have watched in 2023. Not the best movies that came out in 2023. I feel like I need to say that because a lot of these movies have been out for a really long time and have been so uncultured that I've not watched them till 2023. But these are going to be the best movies that I watched in 2023. I cannot believe this year is over. I have watched so many incredible movies. I still have 10 more days of this year left. And I have, so far I have watched 316 movies. That to me is fucking insane. I have never watched that many movies in my entire life. As you can see, the year's finished. I got the Christmas tree up. It's looking really cute and I'm really excited to talk about the best movies that I watched this year. I have watched so many incredible movies, but the only thing about this video is that I only started using Letterboxd in, I think it was September, maybe July, something along those lines. So I don't have all 316 movies ranked. I have, if we want to be precise, if you want to have a look at Letterboxd here, I have 220 movies that I'm going to be talking about. Not talking about the best ones I'm going to be talking about, because I just did not use Letterboxd at the start of the year until we got halfway into the year. So hopefully that's okay with you. 220 movies is still quite a lot for Letterboxd, and I'm going to start with my 4 stars and up, so they'll be like my honorable mentions. Then we'll have the 4.5, which were almost perfect, and then we have the 5-star movies, which I absolutely fucking loved. Mwah. So I feel like let's not waste any time. Let's get into the best movies that I have watched in 2023. I'm so excited for this, if you cannot tell. Okay, so we are going to start at the bottom with some honorable mentions. Sleep Tight, an incredible Spanish horror. Tokyo Sonata, absolutely incredible. In the Bedroom, Todd Fields, I believe, directed this. Todd Field, so good. Incredible. I feel like I prefer Little Children, which sounds insane in a sentence, or Tower a little bit more. Old Joy, I watched this the other day and it just made me very emotional, and I'm not even going to tell you why, but if you know, you know. Then I have Undine, The Full Monty, Chaser, the one I love, Gosford Park, The Wolf of Snow Hollow, which I really loved, Jim Cummings. Such an incredible independent director that's just, you need to watch these movies. I kind of thought that this movie would just be a bit meh, because it's about a wolf, but honestly, fucking incredible. Now that I think of it, maybe I should have given it a bit of a higher star. But then I watched The Black Coat's Daughter, The Doom Generation L, which had that fucking weird ending, but has stuck with me all year. The Brood, Fox and the Hound, The Vast of Night, Take Shelter, which was so good, but the ending of this movie just kind of brought it down like half a star. I'm sorry, The Vanishing. I'm not joking, I think about this movie every single day. It is incredible, terrifying, and very realistic. So if you want a very realistic, terrifying horror, that is the way to go. Beverly Hills Cop, I cannot believe I just watched this for the first time in my life this year. How embarrassing. Black Bear, a very meta, self-aware movie that I really loved, and I feel like I've never heard of it. I don't know how I stumbled across it, but it was absolutely incredible. Then we have Wes Anderson's The Rat Catcher. Wes Anderson making shorts about Roald Dahl books. Perfect. Think of the most perfect recipe in the entire world. That's probably it. Then we have Dolomite Is My Name, Poison, Lethal Weapon, One Cut of the Dead. For the first 30 minutes of this movie, I was like, what is this shit? I do not like this at all. I kind of thought it was absolutely awful, but wow, the latter 40 minutes or 50 minutes or whatever of this movie was incredible. Planes, Trains and Automobiles, just a really nice comfort movie. Inside Man, Scent of a Woman, Stoker, The Village, which I have heard so much hate about that for this movie, which it doesn't deserve. This movie is so great, and I had this idea that this movie is just going to be shit because of what I've heard on Twitter and just the general dialogue about it, and I really loved it, and I honestly kind of didn't expect the twist. So Cold War, beautiful, made me so emotional. It just works so well. All About My Mother, I don't think I entirely understood that movie, but it was fun. Jackass Forever, I mean, what is there to say about Jackass? Then we have Treasure Planet, No One Will Save You, Possessor, The Piano Teacher. Oh my god, how did I only give Piano Teacher 4 stars? I feel like I should have given it a 4.5. We have Signs, Wonka, Videodrome, May December, Inside Llewyn Davis, The Emperor's New Groove, Nobody, What We Do in the Shadows, The Killer, Toy Story 4, Talk to Me. Oh my god, this year was so fucking good. Coraline, Under the Shadow, which is a horror movie. We're getting to the 4.5-star movies. I think it's an Iranian horror movie. Not enough people are talking about this. This movie is 84 minutes long and it is terrifying. The creator, so fucking weird, but so fucking great at the same time. Then we have Certified Copy, Ida, which is the same director of that also made Cold War. This movie was so beautiful, and I just cannot. How do you make something so incredible in 82 minutes, have such depth to characters, such an incredible story? It was just, oh my God. A Tale of Two Sisters. Terrifying, but also just a great movie. I don't even know how to talk about this movie. I feel like I've talked about it in a vlog before, but this movie was like one of the perfect horror movies, supernatural horror movies. It didn't have too many jump scares. It knew how to create a very suspenseful scenes, just incredible. Cachet, I think that's how you pronounce it. Hidden that's what it's translated to in English. Michael Haneke, I don't know if I pronounced it correctly, but I really dived into his films this year, and he's just incredible. Hidden, I just loved how this wasn't very conventional. It didn't just tell you things just to tell you things because it just wanted to please the audience. There's so much depth to it, so many theories, and I still have a theory about this movie that I don't want to tell you because it'll spoil it, but it's just realistic, terrifying, just a master at his craft. You know, Kramer versus Kramer, Nymphomaniac, Part 1, Volume 1. I still have not watched Part 2 because it is 3 hours long, but I will get there. But I fucking loved this movie. This was my first Lars von Trier movie, and I just really loved it. Then we have Elephant, Black Christmas, Theater Camp, Audition, Creep. I've made a video about Creep. Go watch it, and go watch Creep as well. The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, Hugo, First Reformed, Melancholia, my second Lars von Trier movie, and I loved this. It made me feel so depressed. It made me feel so sad because Lars von Trier just knows how to just do something to you. Just do something to you. Okay, then we have Dog Day Afternoon, The Master, The Rocky Horror Picture Show. I cannot believe I've never watched this movie. That is so embarrassing. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What the fuck was that movie? I watched it like 2 or 3 days ago, and I was disgusting in every way. It made me feel sick, but it's so fucking good. Tar, such a slow burn. Todd Field, incredible, absolutely incredible. Perfect Blue, so fucked up. Goodfellas, incredible. Oppenheimer, great. Into the Spider-Verse, great. Barbie, you know what Barbie is. And here we are moving on to my 5-star movies. There's not too many of them. Let's talk about them very slowly. Not very slowly, let's just talk about them at a normal pace. So we have the 1975 at their very best, live from Madison Square Garden. I love 1975. I would be a bad person if I did not give this 5 stars. An incredible live performance. Beautiful. I'm seeing them in March in Copenhagen, and I cannot wait. Little Children, Todd Field. Oh my God, the stories, the characters, everything about this movie is absolutely perfect. I fucking love this movie. I love how this movie just has such a range of characters. The story is so incredible, how everything is interchanging, how the characters just aren't like forgiven towards the end of the movie. I loved it. This movie just made me, you know, whenever you watch something and you're like, I love movies so fucking much. That's how this movie made me feel. I loved it. And I mean fucking loved this movie. Incredible. Then we have The Wind That Shakes the Barley. I felt so disgusted, so angry, also kind of embarrassed about how little Irish history I knew. I'm from Ireland. I grew up here, and this sent me into like a spiral of learning about Irish history and everything that is that happened in the 1920s and before that, and just absolutely incredible movie. Ken Loach, I hope I'm saying that correctly, is an incredible director. This movie is just, it's a tough watch, but it's just beautiful, and I feel like after I researched more about it after watching the movie, I want to rewatch it again because I actually know some context. The Cranes Are Flying is one of my mum's favorite movies. It was beautiful, felt very like ahead of its time of the 50s. It's about a couple. The man goes to war without really telling his partner. Spoilers, the man dies, and it's just a beautiful, heartbreaking movie, and this is probably one of my favorite movies of the year. My mum told me to watch it, so it has obviously a very special place in my heart. Sorry, my hair is just doing something. It's it's just incredible. Like, it actually makes me a bit sad even thinking about it. I just really loved it, and I want to watch more Russian cinema. Then we have Riders of Justice. Usually, okay, hear me out. Usually I do not like action movies at all, but this movie was fucking perfect. I watched it a few nights ago. Why has nobody ever talked about this? Movies like a John Wick and stuff like that, just there's too much like action. It's just too in your face, and it feels like the story lacks because of the amount of action. hot take, it's just not my cup of tea, right? But this movie had the perfect amount of humor, fucking hilarious, perfect amount of action, perfect story, very emotional, very gripping, just an I would never did I think I would give an action movie 5 stars, but I did because I loved this. If you're going to watch any action movie out of this entire list, which there are probably like 5, watch this one. Incredible. Midnight Run. Martin Brest just creates the best like journey movie with 2 characters that you just really fall in love with, and Midnight Run is just an incredible movie because it's just an accountant embezzles $15 million of mob money, jumps bail, and is chased by bounty hunters, the FBI, and the mafia. It's the same director of Scent of a Woman, which I believe I gave 4 stars. Beverly Hills Cop. Just fucking great. If you're looking for something just to sit down to watch with your family or friends, that's just great, just perfect. This is the movie for you to watch. Sherlock Jr., I made a video about this a few weeks ago. It's my first silent movie I ever watched. I won't say too much, but I cannot believe how fucking amazed I was at this and how ahead of its time it felt and how just unique and great it is. And it's from the 20s. It's 40 minutes on YouTube. Go watch it. Victoria, oh my God. This is another one of those movies that made me sit down and be like, wow, I love movies so fucking much. It is shot in one take. The movie is 2.5 hours, and it is kind of like a robbery type of story. I don't even know. It's basically about a Spanish woman in Berlin, and she meets a group of guys, and something goes a bit weird. It's basically divided into 2 parts. I cannot get over how incredible this movie is. Shot in one take. They had 3 attempts at this, and on their final attempt, they had it. It's perfect. I was just wow. Honestly, wow. Then we have Autumn Sonata, which is my first Bergman movie, and this made me so emotional. It made me so sad because I can relate to some parts of this. It is just beautiful. I love how nothing really happens. It's just really a conversation between a woman and her mother, and it's just beautiful. It is like, it doesn't, honestly, movies just that are like this, of just talking and just not much else happening, they just don't get better than that. Taste of Cherry is my first, I think this movie's from Iran. Yeah, I think it is. It's my first Iranian movie, and it's about a man who's trying to find someone to kind of help them kill himself. So he needs somebody to come back to where he has died and bury him. It was just beautiful. I love the ending of this movie. This is so smart, so beautiful. I know I keep repeating myself, but this movie is absolutely breathtaking. It is, wow, like, this is one of the best also movies I've ever watched. And if you have not watched any movies by this director, by Kiarostami, I hope I've pronounced that correctly, Kiarostami, he's incredible. I've watched 3 of these, and I just, wow, if you need to venture into foreign cinema, start here. It's great. It's honestly great. Petite Maman, I actually did not rank this. I remember in 2021, I watched this and I used Letterboxd for one day and I stopped using it. But this movie, from what I remember, was fucking incredible. Look at this filmography. Every movie here is incredible. I'm not going to really talk about this movie because I haven't watched it in about almost 3 years. So let's not do that. Stop Making Sense. The music documentary, live performance from Talking Heads. Incredible. What do you want me to say? This is one of the best live shows ever. I cannot believe that this is like, it also feels like it was ahead of its time. So engaging, so entertaining, just beautiful. Like, honestly, the top tier of entertainment ever. I absolutely love Talking Heads, so, you know. Cha Cha Real Smooth, I watched this at the perfect time. I watched this alone in my apartment, and it made me just get in my field. Just a wholesome story. I feel like if I watched it at another time, I would not have given this movie 5 stars, but I did. It was so wholesome, it was so beautiful, and I don't know, what's his name? Cooper Riff. I hope this is the right name. I'm saying it correctly. Shithouse. He made Shithouse, kind of like a coming of age movie. People feeling lost in life, helping each other, finding things about themselves, struggling, and it's just captured beautifully on film with the very authentic performances that were absolutely breathtaking. The holdovers. I was literally just talking about this movie with my friend last night. I love this movie. I love the teacher-student relationship that's portrayed here. These characters are clearly flawed, and I love when a movie doesn't really perfect them towards the end of a movie. The movie finishes and it feels realistic. The characters are incredible. You can read into this movie so much. The performances are great. It is beautiful. It's about a teacher and some other staff, I guess, and a student being left in school over Christmas and the bond that they develop together. If you like Dead Poet Society, I'm just going to say it's a little bit better than that. It is, wow, very emotional. The more I think about it, it definitely makes me a bit sad. It's great. It's a great movie. 12 Monkeys. This movie confused the fuck out of me, but once my girlfriend and I watched this, we just talked about it and we read more into it and we rewatched parts and we were like, oh my god, this movie is incredible. It is such a trip. It is such a wild ride. But if you want something a bit crazy, a bit nuts, you need to watch this movie. So 12 Monkeys, absolutely fucking incredible. Paddington 2, I've spoken about this movie like 2 weeks ago. My ultimate comfort movie. Paul King is an incredible director, which he proved himself with Wonka. People had so many doubts about Wonka. They were like, no, this is going to be shit. Why would you make a Wonka movie with Timothée Chalamet? And you need to trust Paul King. He's an incredible director. And honestly, Wonka was incredible. Paddington 1 is great. Paddington 2 is great. And I cannot wait for Paddington 3, even though I know Paul King is not directing it. Snatch. This movie was bizarre. It was my first Guy Ritchie movie. It was just fucking over the top. Crazy like editing. Crazy amount of shit happening. But so bizarre in such a great way that I fucking loved it. I still think Brad Pitt's accent sucks. Sue me. I do not care. Everything else about this movie was perfect. Batshit crazy and love it. Paddington 1. I will not repeat myself. Paddington is the best. Saltburn, I gave this 5 stars. I talked about this a few weeks ago in my vlog. I loved how beautiful this is, how cool of a story it is, how funny and silly and dumb this is. Listen, I've heard a lot of shit about this movie and I do not give a fuck. If obviously this movie is flawed. I don't care. I had a great, entertaining, bizarre, fucking great time with this movie. And I will give this 5 stars, and I will stand by the 5 stars that I gave this. And I do not care because I've heard so much shit talk and so much great things about this movie, and I don't care about your shit talk. I loved Saltburn, and it was great. Shiva Baby, the most anxiety-inducing movie that also introduced me to Emma Seligman. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. Incredible director. The cast of this movie, Rachel Sennett's performance is absolutely incredible. This movie, if you've not watched it, what are you doing? It's 78 minutes long. It is fucking bizarre. It is beautiful. It is so anxiety-inducing, and it is great. It almost feels like a horror movie because of how this character feels throughout the story. Incredible. Then we have Blue Velvet, my second or third David Lynch movie. But this movie just honestly, when I watched it, it just made sense. And I always have this fear of David Lynch. I've made an entire video about Lynch that I don't understand it. And that's fine. You're not meant to understand it. But this movie actually made sense. And I like, obviously, it's his most accessible movie that I've been told. And I watched it and I loved it. It was beautiful. A little bit crazy. I feel like this movie you're actually able to make theories up about. You're actually able to like analyze it and actually make sense, because I feel like if you watch maybe Mulholland Drive and you try overanalyze it, you're just going to get into a spiral of not making sense and of just, it's just nuts, right? But with this movie, I feel like you can actually have concrete theories and back them up because it's more coherent. It's one of his movies that actually like entirely makes sense. I do it like this because his other movie, like you know, and Blue Velvet was incredible. The music, just the how this movie looked, the poster, I love it and I cannot wait to rewatch it. It's one of those movies that stuck with me and I was able to just go to bed thinking about it, which made me really happy. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I've also spoken about this movie. I just love the relationship in this movie. This movie is wholesome, it's beautiful, and just it kind of there's undertones of it just being quite sad and upsetting, but also very loving, and I just loved it. Fucking batshit crazy as well, obviously, which I loved. I cannot believe it took me until 2023 to fucking watch this movie. I think we're nearing the end. Oh, we have a few more past lives. Oh my gosh. You know, like with La La Land where they part ways and you're like, oh my god, why couldn't they have been together? It's kind of like it gives the past life, gives this energy, and it made me cry. I watched this movie and it made me cry because it just felt unfair but reasonable, and sometimes I don't like things being reasonable. I don't like things being fair. I just want things to work out in a movie and they just don't. And it's, yeah, beautiful performances, beautiful movie, beautiful characters. There's only a handful of characters in this movie and they're developed so well and the relationships are developed so well. And if you're looking for stunning and just an incredible movie, go watch Past Lives. Same thing as I said with Shiva Baby. The same vibe. I've been looking forward to this movie ever since it's been announced. Incredible cast, just everything was absolutely incredible about this. It felt like Shiva Baby was here and Bottoms somehow just went up to here. I loved it. They're completely different movies. They're both hilarious. They're just also so self-aware. The music in this is incredible. Give me like Scott Pilgrim energy. Love it. Just bonkers, and you need to watch Bottoms if you have not watched it. Monsters Inc. I'm doing this thing, and I don't know if I've actually mentioned it on my channel, that I'm watching all the kids movies I kind of missed as I was a kid, because I didn't grow up watching a lot of English language stuff. If you do not know, I'm Lithuanian, so I grew up speaking Russian, and I missed a lot of these movies. So with my girlfriend, like every Friday or Saturday, we're watching a lot of like kids movies, and Monsters Inc. is just one of those that felt perfect. Out of all the ones we've watched, I watched this and I was like, wow, if I have children, I want them to watch this. It was incredible, and I will stand by the 5 stars. I do not care. I think we have 3 more. We have Zodiac. Zodiac is my favorite David Lynch movie, an incredible murder mystery. I do not have anything else to say out of the process of them trying to figure things out and never being successful. And I love a movie that does that because it makes me frustrated. Then I rewatched The Social Network, another Fincher movie that I gave 5 stars to. The performances in this, I cannot believe they shot the first scene 99 times. Fincher is such a perfectionist, and it's showcased in this. This movie has really no flaws. I did not realize how good the music in this movie was. I rewatched this recently, and the first song, oh, what the fuck? So fucking good. And finally, my last 5-star movie, La La Land. Honestly, if you go into my profile here, at the top, my favorites, my La La Land is my number 1. La La Land is one of my favorite movies of all time. I've watched this 8 or 9 times. I have nothing new to say about this movie. It breaks my heart. It makes me love musicals, which is, what the fuck? Color tells an entire story in this movie. The relationships are incredible. The story is incredible. The movie is incredible. Damien Chazelle is incredible. Emma Stone, Ryan Gosling is incredible. La La Land is a perfect movie in my opinion. And that's all the 5 stars and all the best movies that I have watched in 2023. I feel so lucky that I got to watch so many incredible movies this year. This year has been perfect for movies. I want to finish this video and go watch more movies. That is a sign that I have been watching great movies all year. I have loved it. I've discovered so many incredible directors, so many incredible movies, so many incredible short movies, so many movies from different countries that I would have never watched because of my silly ignorance that I had before this year, or maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I love foreign movies, but I explored countries I've never explored before. I've discovered so many great directors, so many great movies. This year, I honestly feel like it would be very hard to beat. I love movies so fucking much, and I've developed how I can speak about them, I think, a little bit. I'm still not the best, but I'm trying my best. I just had an incredible year. Wow, I could honestly sit here and talk for a very long time, but I'm going to make another video where I talk about the worst movies that I watched in 2023, so stick around for that. What was the best movie you watched in 2023? Maybe give me a few, but this year was beautiful. And I'm so happy, and I love movies with my entire heart, and I cannot wait to watch more. So I think that's everything. Please tell me the best things you watched in 2023. I cannot speak apparently, but thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. I'll see you next year. Haha, you know those jokes. Okay, love you. Goodbye. Bye.